Mardi Man is here for Mardi Gras weekend. It was important to have a mask for Mardi Gras. You can still drink your beverage out of the Wheeler's Mixer Elixir. All right. Mardi Man, the Mardi Gras superhero. And his favorite line is, "Show me your tits," in exchange for beads, of course. He throws beads at not just women that show him their tits, but also to stop bad guys. Mardi Man. He'd be like a great like comedy superhero. It's hard to play the guitar with beads on. That we know. No titties for these boys. At least not yet. No, that was great. When my parents went to that Louisiana Cajun festival, and some guy they took a picture of an old man back in the early '90s, and he wasn't pictured in the DVD. Their camcorder. But I remember always laughing at the picture that said, "Show me your tits," on the front of the shirt. It was a real old guy too, you know. It was like dude with a pot belly, looked like a grandpa. He said it was an all-white shirt, and it just said, "Show me your tits" in red, and that's it. I was like, now that's a T-shirt right there. It made it funnier that it was like a grandpa, right? Oh yeah, made it like way funnier. Certainly better than the MILFs wearing "I pooped today" to the grocery store. I pooped today. I pooped today. How clever. I poo-pooed today. I should design the shirt. I took a big shit today. Wear that around or something. Get revenge on the poopers, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what the updates are. Is it the Pooter? One of my favorite YouTube channels is the Pooter. Do we have the Pooter? Alright. The Pooter. I always love good updates from the Pooter, Jack Vale. So I can see the history, see what exploits he's doing, the pooting. Going to the Walmarts and farting. Doing the fake farts. That helped me through the pandemic, Jack Vale and the Pooter. That really helped me kind of see the comedy in life, right? See what's funny about it, yeah. Otherwise, that would have been a pretty harrowing time, right? Without comedy, I think. Got the suicide rate down, probably? Yeah. That's what COVID-19 felt like, right? Coronavirus. It felt like the COVID-19 SARS-CoV-2. It felt like when Indiana Jones, he drinks the blood from Mola Rum in the Thuggee cult underneath the palace. And when he drinks the satanic blood and then he goes into a coma, that's what it felt like getting COVID-19, sort of. You're just like in this fog of suffering and blackness. That's what it feels like. Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones! It's not you, Dr. Jones! Huey Kwan. Yeah, my friend was Chinese, you know, Kent, and he was from Hong Kong, and so he loved that Asian character. He wasn't offended by it. He thought it was great. He loved that there was he loved that there was an Asian superhero character, and there was not many back in those days, so he really liked that. There was some representation, so yeah. Besides Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, I mean, you know. So you would think if you showed Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and you had the Asian kids come over, that they would think, oh man, this is racist, you know. But the Asian boys loved it. They fucking loved that short round character by Huey Kwan. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. And of course, Michelle Trachtenberg. Yeah. When I said that the girl died, I said, man, she looks really familiar. I mean, like, really familiar, you know. Photographic eidetic memory aside, still, it's like that girl looks really familiar besides being cute and hot. Besides being babical and all that stuff. I said, she looks so familiar. So familiar. But, you know, it's from early childhood, the Nickelodeon days. So the early Nickelodeon days in the early 1990s, she was on The Adventures of Pete and Pete. Yeah, I didn't watch Gossip Girl. I didn't watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's probably what girls were watching, so I wasn't watching any of that shit. But The Adventures of Pete and Pete, that was some weird motherfucking shit. And I love it. There's some bizarre, wacky ass shit. Wacky characters, wacky scenarios. But better. But it was like weirder. And it was like the Wonder Years, except there was two brothers, and there was like zany characters, zany male and female characters. It was the grunge, the alternative rock Wonder Years in the 90s. It was pretty cool. And it was a comedy, so it was less dramatic. There wasn't like, you know, really tense situations. Yeah, if there's anything I remembered about the Wonder Years, is that sometimes it got heavy into the social justice and Vietnam and war and all those kind of heavy topics. Besides Kevin trying to navigate having a dick and liking girls and stuff like that. But, you know, it had like broader themes. You know, it dealt with heavy topics at times. Like racism, Vietnam, blah, 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 etc. Whatever the tumultuous things, civil rights, things that were going on in the 1960s. So. Yes, pristine, glorious. I'm gonna go and get a beer tonight, not as Mardi Man. It would be funny to go as Mardi Man, you know, to the quickie store to get a beer. Hey, who are you supposed to be? Apu. He's like, no, I'm gonna say, I'm Mardi Man. These are some really nice beads. So even if a woman showed me her tits in the convenience store, look, these are actually my mom's beads, so I can't really trade them. So there's some really nice beads. Look at these beads. I mean, these are not your dollar store beads here. These are some banger beads. These are some. Got different Mardi masks, and that's for the orgy though. Oh, yeah, that Marty. It's like Eyes Wide Shut in the part. Yeah, when I was showing Eyes Wide Shut at the AMC Gold Point 30, yeah, all the guys would disappear during the orgy scene. I was like, where'd all the guys go? Oh fuck, because you could time your watch to the movies and the different scenes. So then everybody had their before iPhones. How were guys going to look at pornography? I mean, they'd have to wait until they got off work and then go home and look at the computer and jack off. So all the young guys were like timing their Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, the orgy scene when he goes into the Illuminati underworld or whatever. He goes to the Epstein underworld, right? Stanley Kubrick movie, Eyes Wide Shut. He goes to the satanic temple that worships Baal and Lucifer. They got the guys with the robes and the masks. They have this big ass orgy. And I don't know, I kind of consider Eyes Wide Shut to be more of a documentary now than actually a fiction. But so I'd say like, hey, where'd all the employees go? They're watching the orgy scene again. I was like, fuck. And of course, my ass would be like, oh, I wonder when the orgy scene's coming. Oh, I better hurry up and get in there. Oh shit, did I miss the orgy scene? Was I actually doing my job? Oh no. No, I didn't really time the orgy scene to go in that much as some of the other guys when Eyes Wide Shut was out. But Blade, I did time the ending so I could see the final fight a lot, though. I did try to go see Blade, the Wesley Snipes, the final fight. And he goes, some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill. And then I'd like go again. And then I'd say, you know what? I really haven't had enough of this. And it was like, some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill. And then it was like, okay, I've done this like, 10 times. It's like, no, you gotta go in there. Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill. And then it just became and then, thankfully, the movie, they changed movies, so. It would be cool if it was a hit for like 3 years. And then like every day I would just go in there at work. Some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill. Some motherfuckers. Tomorrow's the 7-planet alignment. Yeah. Besides Mardi Gras weekend. Man, this one gets hot. Whew. Some like it hot. Some like it hot, hot, hot. Robert Palmer and Buster Poindexter. He's died of cancer, right, Buster Poindexter? Yeah, his family's setting up a GoFundMe page for his cancer bills. But I'm like, dude, you never saved your money. Like, now, if you suddenly had a big influx of money, would you just go hog wild like there was no tomorrow spending, buying stuff? Or would you say, you know what, I might get old and sick one day. I might put this in the bank or something. Yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, I guess Buster Poindexter's career wasn't very... It's kind of like, it's strange. It's like he's not very successful. It's New York Dolls. And then it's like, he has one hit, Some Like It, Hot, Hot, Hot. And then he plays, he's in with Bill Murray, Scrooged. He's kind of a big thing resurgence in the 80s, and then after that, I mean, I don't know. I guess it wasn't like so successful that it was hard. He was too big to fail, But yeah, his career was kind of all over the place, but. So I've been an Air fan ever since, I guess, I want to say 2000, ever since I heard 1998's Moon Safari, the French electronic duo Air. And yeah, I wasn't acquainted with Air from the Virgin Suicides soundtrack, or I didn't get their 1998 masterpiece Moon Safari right off the bat. So I had to have friends, and everything, get into it, watch the movies and hear the music, like, oh, who played that? And, so finally I bought it by the time I was 20, Air Moon Safari, a few years late, and it was worth the wait. That was the soundtrack of my early 2000s, Air Moon Safari. And then in 2004, I bought their next album, which was Talkie Walkie. And that was fucking excellent. I jammed that out a lot. No, I'm sorry. Their next album was 10,000 Megahertz. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Legend. Yeah. So then I got 10,000 Megahertz, The Legend. Then their next album was Talkie Walkie. Sorry. I can't forget about 10,000 Megahertz, The Legend. That was a great one. Yeah, like Radio Number One. And of course, what's one? I like the cover of that one, 10,000 Megahertz, The Legend, because Air, The Legend. Because it has like a desert, and then there's like this like futuristic sci-fi compound in the middle of this huge desert. I always thought that was really cool. A badass album cover, really. So yeah, Talkie Walkie, and that was a cool cover. It had them on there, and then it had like all these different equations from like algebra and calculus and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, but for some reason in all that, I never bought Air Pocket Symphony for some reason. I don't know why I didn't. It's kind of strange, but I skipped that record for whatever reason. I got really busy, or I was listening to other types of music for a while, and somehow it got lost in the shuffle for me. And then I rediscovered my Air like about 2008, 2009, and then they released a new record. It was called Air. It had a weird title. It was like Air Love 2. It was like maybe Air Love 2 came before Pocket Symphony, or I don't exactly remember the order of the albums, but it said Air Love 2, but there was no Air Love 1, so I had no idea why it said part 2 when there was no part 1. I know many critics were baffled as well. It's like, okay, how you have part 2, but there's no part 1? Critics baffled. Maybe that was their goal, to baffle people. It sure baffled the hell out of me, but I was such an Air fan that I just said, you know what? Let's pretend that there was Air Love 1. Because now we have Air Love 2. Don't get it, but here we go. And the record was all right. Maybe that record didn't sell so well, and then they went back to commercial roots, trying to make something more more pop, more popular, and they made Pocket Symphony. So, but besides being like pop artists, they also do a lot of soundtracks for television shows and movies like The Virgin Suicides, Gossip Girl, and so forth. I didn't even know. I heard about Gossip Girl, but it's it wasn't the type of show a guy would watch really, unless his girlfriend or wife made him watch it or something. Unless the girl he wanted to get laid or his wife he wanted to get laid, and she was like, "Well, first we must watch the newest episode of Gossip Girl," and he was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." He had to sit through it basically. He had to deal with it. He had to swallow his balls and so he could get some tang. In other words, yeah, he was pussy whipped. He's like, well, if I watch Gossip Girls, I'll get some pussy. He's like, well, if I vote Obama, maybe I'll get laid. Maybe if I vote for Joe Biden, I'll get some poontang. One of those kind of guys. He's just like simping out. Maybe if I vote Democrat, I'll get some punani. Yeah, there's plenty of them out there. I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. So I was like, how in the world did I miss Pocket Symphony? I didn't buy it. I was like, my gosh. And started listening to the record, and I was like, wow, this record's really good. And then I went to the YouTube. I didn't buy the record, maybe because it was on YouTube as well. That's another reason, because they've started putting albums on YouTube. And so I guess I didn't feel the need to buy it if I'm listening to it for free. And even though I'd bought tickets and DVDs and CDs of Air for years by this point. And their DVD was really good, by the way. Their concert DVD, them touring. I think it was their home country, France. It's pretty interesting DVD. And the best note that you have to hit, really, is that's one of the most difficult notes to play in the history of music. Because you have to have Chinese food before you can hit that note. Because it gets the acid going with the Chinese food, with the soy sauce and the wonton and the dumplings and the pork, and it's got and that way you get to the next level. So I made it to Pocket Symphony, the song, Photograph, which is an amazing song. I said, wow, this is astounding. I mean, this is just as good, if not better, than some of the stuff that was on almost a Moon Safari. I mean, it rivals it pretty heavily, which is, it's very impressive when an artist outdoes themselves. I think you had a drink, so that's why you did improper English. Yeah, you said outdoes yourself. No, you outdoes yourself, yeah. Your English gets improper after the drinking a little bit, huh? Verb confusion. So I listened to Photograph, and then I saw all these things at the bottom. It said Gossip Girl, Gossip Girl. It said, oh, this is the song from Gossip Girl. And then there was comments, Gossip Girl brought me here. And I said, wow, was this really on there? It's a really touching, romantic song. It's a really beautiful song. It really is. It is if you like beautiful songs. Yeah. If you like beautiful music, well, Air Photograph is, that does it right there. But I need drink number 2. Then I'll come back and play Air Photograph. Yeah, I know once I play it, this video cannot be monetized, so that's fine. But this is a tribute to Michelle Trachtenberg, so I don't give a fuck. Is that the note for fuck? Fuck. Oh, well, maybe. Like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck. Yeah, I know multiple sources said that Gene Hackman and his wife and dog, for them to be dead all together at the same time, that it must have been carbon monoxide. However, in the interim, in the wake of all that scuttlebutt, well, things look pretty fishy. Yeah, so they start saying it. It's suspicious. Suspicious. Delicious. Nutritious. Where's my ammo? Suspicious. So it's suspicious caper we have here with Gene Hackman, his wife. The Japanese, I would assume, pianist. And the dog is dead too. And 2 of the dogs are alive, but 1 dog is also dead. The space heater is on the ground because apparently she died and hit it, right? And then Gene Hackman was in the mud room. Okay, I wasn't familiar with what a mud room is, because we don't really have them in Texas as far as I know, or I've never heard of it, a mud room. It's a place where you make sure dirt and mud doesn't come into the house, and you put your boots, and if you've been working out on the farm or the yard or whatever, you've been in muddy situations, it's called the mud room, and the goal of the room is to contain dirt and stuff, nasty shit, so it doesn't get into the house. So that's the mud room. So Gene Hackman died in the mud room, and then his wife died with apparently next to an orange container of pills, and some of the pills are scattered around. And Gene Hackman's 95. He has to have a cane. He's a very old, decrepit sickly man, and his wife is about, what, 60 or something? I mean, if you're 95, you're already on your way out. I mean, everybody's already on their way out, but definitely if you're 95, it's the end. Yeah, any day now. But if you're 95, you don't want to think that it's any day now, but 95, it's any day now. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff Bezos is 95. It's any day now. Doesn't matter if you have $300 billion. If it's Elon Musk, he's 95. That's any day now. Yeah. Or whoever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a chimney sweeper. Everybody's going to dance with the Reaper. Like from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Bill and Ted's 2. Yeah, that was great. William Sadler. You might be a doctor or a chimney sweeper, but sooner or later, everybody's gonna dance with the Reaper. Yeah, I always like that. That's a good rap. So I suppose they'll know when the autopsy comes out what really happened. Could the dog and his wife and Gene Hackman have had heart attacks and strokes at the same time? At the same, basically, I mean, could she have overdosed on pills and then died, and then that caused a reaction where Gene Hackman saw his dead wife and then went to the other room and then had a heart attack, and then fucking the dog was so stressed out seeing the two corpses that it died out of stress? I don't know. It seems like a strange situation that 3 people, no matter if they're senior citizens or not, all die at the same time, plus the dog. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility, but I guess it'll all come out in the investigation. Yeah. So we'll see what happened. What kind of strokes, heart attacks, foul play, what kind of shenanigans are going on in Santa Fe, New Mexico. What is afoot with Gene Hackman and his wife and the dog of doom? Ba-ba. So the stroke is when there's not enough oxygen to the brain. A heart attack is when you have clogged arteries, you're not getting enough blood flowing to the rest of your body because you're having a heart attack. Okay, there we go. So apparently this song was in Gossip Girl. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. I guess that was on the Gossip Girl. I didn't know it was from Gossip Girl. And wow. Rest in peace, Michelle Trachtenberg of The Adventures of Pete and Pete, Nickelodeon, Harriet the Spy. Clarissa Explains It All, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Gossip Girl, and so on. I guess is there any criticisms of Air as a band, as a soundtrack writer, as songwriters? They're French, so the way they sing English, they're obviously not native English speakers. So I guess that causes some particular limitations if they're trying to appeal to the English-speaking audience. So, yeah. A lot of their vocals seem very subdued, very almost like opioid-laced. It sounds like, I don't know if they're going for that sound. They don't want to go. They don't want to go into a highly emotional sound, or maybe they don't know how to do emotions in English. We don't know the language well enough, but it seems rather subdued, I guess. But maybe that's the intention. That's the way their music is supposed to sound. So I can't really tell unless I ask them personally. Did you intend the music to sound like this, or does it just like you're not native English speakers, so that's the way it sounds. Because obviously you can thread more emotions when you sing, more powerful emotions if you understand the English language and how to amplify those emotions. But it's electronic music, so it's supposed to be mellow, like lounge act, like you're in a nice club with your friends and having some martinis. It's not supposed to be really, it's not supposed to be Janis Joplin, for instance. It's not supposed to be emotionally jarring like Janis. It's not supposed to be overbearingly powerful like Janis Joplin, like soul crushing necessarily. Yeah, Msnbcya. I never watched MS. I never watched MSDNC to begin with. Microsoft Bill Gates of Hell NBC network anyway. It was always shite to begin with. I never really watched it anyway. I only began to notice it when it started to go, into Trump derangement syndrome, and they started to get a lot of racist and uber gay and lesbian anchors on the program, So really rabid anti-Trump anchors on the Microsoft Bill Gates of Hell network. And that's when I noticed that the MSDNC was, a really shitty network. And that's when I noticed, wow, this isn't fair at all. It's not even, CNN is a liberal network, but sometimes they do give Trump kind of a fair shake. But this MSDNC, this Microsoft Bill Gates of Hell network, doesn't give Trump any wins, doesn't give him any accolades, even though he's won the presidency twice, and was only cheated out of re-election in 2020 because of the mainstream media and social media censorship, and also the Chinese plague, the COVID-19 coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, severe acute respiratory virus. So from Wuhan Virology Institute Laboratories. Wuhan, China. That was the song I was gonna do. I did many parodies for the plague years. I said did I upload the video to this channel? Was it Everybody Wuhan Tonight? Maybe it wasn't the most popular video, but instead of Everybody Wang Chung, it was Everybody by Wang Chung. It was Everybody Wuhan Tonight. Or I did a great one, Phil Collins parody. It was I can feel it coming in the air tonight, Wuhan. But the real lyrics are hold on. But I've been waiting for this moment all my life, Wuhan. Was that a popular one too? They like that one. Oh, everybody likes. Some people said after I got stabbed, I became gangster. I did not become gangster because I got stabbed multiple times, but I didn't become gangster. I did not become a gangster after that. It was, but I did do the parody. You know, I've had the time of my life. Ooh, every open wound, and I swear it's the truth. I owe it all to you. I've had the time of my life. Ooh, every stabbing wound. Oh yeah, it's the truth. I'm coming for you, motherfucker. All right. Yeah, so that was my parody, right? I've had the time of my life. It's based on I've had the time of my life from Patrick Swayze and Dirty Dancing. The chick's name is Jennifer Grey. I've had the time of my life. Ooh. Thankfully, none of my vital organs were hit. It still hurt. It still hurt, you know. It still hurt because they had to put staples in you and stuff. Man, the pain was, wow, the pain. Whew. The stabbing pains were, wow. Yeah, the pain was the pain. Yeah. They give you a lot of pain medication, though. They give you a lot of codees, a lot of codeine. They give you a lot of. They don't give you OxyContin. They don't give you a lot of opioids. They give you a lot of shit to deal with the pain and muscle relaxers and shit like that. So I'm not addicted to them because you can't get prescriptions. If you were like a war vet, been blown apart or stabbed with a sword 10 times and you survived or something, they would give you a shitload of pain medicine for a long time, but until everything healed up. But since mine were not too deep and they weren't vital organs, it was like they only gave a few. So I would use medicine for reference, not for addiction purposes. So for reference only. It's just like, okay, well, if I'm really hurt, well, this would temporarily relieve pain or something like that. Doctor prescribed, everything legal. So that's the only caveat of it. I'm not really a pill popper anyway. I'm not a pill popper, so it doesn't interest me. Yeah, I've seen Michael Keaton's Dope Sick about, opioids and hydrocontin and Oxycontin and, fentanyl and all that shit. I have no interest in that shit. So. Okay, if I'm in war and I get my leg blown off, I'm going to be interested in morphine pretty quickly. I'm going to be interested in codeine and morphine and opioids and heroin very fast. But if those things are not occurring, then I'm not interested in that at all. So, basically. Actually, I feel kind of lucky because none of my major organs were hit, and I wasn't shot. So, yeah, that's good. Actually, I count my lucky stars. Could have been worse, right? Could have been way worse. Could have been way worse. Could have been a total and complete disaster. But by the grace of God, hey, we have another year to attend to. Well, even though I've talked about a lot of Gene Hackman films that I love, Unforgiven, French Connection 1 and 2, Crimson Tide, Royal Tenenbaums. You know what movie I didn't really talk about? That's scarier. It's scarier than The Plague. It's scarier than Jaws. It's scarier than pain and death itself. It's scarier than alienation, loneliness, depression. It's the most frightening fucking movie. No, it's not The Exorcist. That's not the scariest movie I ever saw. Maybe because I'm claustrophobic, but the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life that scared the shit out of me was called 1972's The Poseidon Adventure with Gene Hackman as the Reverend. About a big ship sailing from New York to Greece that capsizes, and the survivors have to escape, either drown or burn to death. That was almost scarier fictionally than... It wasn't as scary as 9/11 or Pearl Harbor, but it was pretty... it wasn't as frightening as D-Day, Normandy invasion, to liberate Europe from the Nazis. But it was fucking a scary movie. It was an uncomfortable movie to watch. I remember it because it's scary. Imagine if you were in that situation, no escape, no way out, nothing you can do. There's no help. There's no cavalry. It's you and the people that you must protect. It's you and them alone to survive. You got no cavalry. You got no troops. You got no medical. You ain't got shit. You're just foobarred. You are just like those people on September 11th, 2001, and those World Trade Center buildings when the terrorists, Osama bin Laden, Al Qaeda, are smashing planes into it, and you're stuck in the building claustrophobically. There's no way out. It's either you have two choices: jump out the fucking window to your death and become soup on the ground when gravity destroys your body and turns your ass into soup, or you inhale smoke or burn to death in writhing agony and fear and pain There's no escape. There's nothing you can do. You've been attacked. There's a natural disaster. It's like the 2004 tsunami. It's like the impossible. There's nothing you can do. With all your strength, with all your resources, with all your intelligence, there's nothing you can do. There's no way out. That's why that movie's so scary, because it's like that. All your intelligence, all your experience, all your knowledge, all your passion, all your strength, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, that is a scary feeling. Now, a baby might feel helpless in the crib because they can't get out because they're enclosed in the crib. But a man or a woman, adult, and you have a situation, there's no way out. Like the Poseidon Adventure, September 11th. Whatever the situation is. Now that's a scary fucking movie. That's a scary experience in reality too. So, I haven't watched the Poseidon Adventure since I was scared to death watching it. It's a fucking frightening movie. It really is. It's a... Yeah. Wow. Or as fictionally James T. Kirk would call it, the no-win scenario in the Kobayashi Maru. No way out. Nothing to do. Either you have two options: try to escape or die. Or maybe you only have two options. You're going to die, but you choose the manner in which you die. Will you burn to death, or will you jump out of the building? Will you drown, or will you burn to death? Will you run out of oxygen, or will you get eaten by the sharks? Limited choices. You know, how are people going to deal with this amount of stress? You know, on a psychological perspective of interest. The Poseidon Adventure is not your typical... It's not like Towering Inferno. It's not like your typical 1970s disaster flick. It's actually really scary. From the scenario, the story, the characters, everything is just... It's a very poignant disaster movie about the no-win scenario, about no way out. It's what they call, the word is called harrowing. Harrowing. It's a harrowing tale, the Poseidon Adventure. Poseidon, of course, is the Greek god of the sea. Or was, at any rate. Why did man invent monotheism? Well, polytheism is it's a pain in the ass. So if you're Egyptian, you're Roman, you're Greek, you have to be worried about Ra and Thoth and Horus and fucking Hercules and fucking Zeus and fucking Poseidon and fucking Athena and all this shit. You got to deal with Mars, and you got to deal with all these different gods and goddesses. You got to deal with it's too much. Now, it's better if you're monotheistic. Then you said, okay, God, G-O-D, boom. Oh man, I don't got to worry about all that. All the gods and goddesses on Mount Olympus betraying each other. I don't have to worry about the Shakespearean play. Now the Shakespearean play is transferred to man. Now I can watch man and woman betray each other and stab each other in the back and shoot each other and betray each other. But I don't have to, but on a godly level, that's separate. So I don't have to deal with it anymore. Except for, I guess in monotheism, you need you need a juxtapose. So you need the good force, which is God, and you need the anti-force, which is Satan. So you still need the polarization of the positive force and the negative force, like in electromagnetism. You still need the balance between the dark and the light and the center, but you don't have to deal with different characters. So in monotheism, you just have to deal with the devil, God, and then whoever the demigod is, which would be Jesus or Muhammad or whoever the prophet of that religion is. So you don't have to deal with like rogues gallery of gods and goddesses as you would have in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, Babylon, Assyrians and Sumerians, and Greek and Romans also. Because it's burdensome to have to rely on gods for different things. Like, okay, if I want to have a baby, I got to worry about the god of fertility. If I want the god of the harvest, I got to pray to the god of the harvest. If I want the crops to work out, if I want the god of health, I got to pray to the god of health. It's like a presidential cabinet. It's like a bureaucracy or some shit. You know, it's like, okay, there's a supreme god, and then he has variations of himself and his. It's like, man, the god of finance, I got to pray to the god of finance. The god of war, if I want my war to go well, I got to pray to the god of war. It's just a pain in the ass. It's too many fucking gods and goddesses, man. In the ancient world, man. There's too many. That's too many for people to keep up with. Gods and demigods and goddesses, and that's too much BS. So eventually the priests of the earth and the power centers, they said, hey, you know, we can't really have Mars and Venus and fucking Jupiter and Neptune versus Poseidon and shit. And they were like, okay, we need to simplify this, man. Like, this is too much. Like, we can't do this anymore. It's too much. It's overburdened. It's too complex. It's ridiculous, right? It's oversaturated. So they come up with monotheism, which is, what if there was just one creator, one supreme being of the universe, just one being, and then man said, you know, then we don't have to deal with Zeus and fucking Hercules and all this BS, right? Athena and fucking all this caca. So they said, yeah, that's cool. That's really smooth. And we got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I love it. Yeah, but who's going to be the Dark Master? Well, it's not going to be like God of the underworld, Hades. We'll call him the devil. We'll call him Lucifer, Satan. How about that? So Judaism, Christians, and Muslims will have one central dark figure called one Antichrist, one anti-Muhammad, one devilish being, and his name will be Satan. And he'll be regarded, his real name that everybody will agree on will be called Satan. Okay, they may, in different languages, argue about what his name truly is, just as they do about God's name. Is his name Jehovah or Elohim or God? You know, they call him different names, but they know what it is. They know who he is. They know what it is. whether there's a god or not, or gods or goddesses or not, or different spiritual entities in the universe, I will say this: mankind is a very imaginative creature. So, the imagination of man always runs wild, even if reality never seems to catch up sometimes. We'll head to the stove, but not as Mardi Man. All right. Got the wallet. We have our keys of destiny. We need to chill the glass of the beverage. And then we're off to the adventure of going to the Quickie Mart for a beer. Which is quite the adventure, I'd say. Not as adventurous as bald and bankrupt, going to party, going to get beer, but kind of almost close.
Did you ever go get your beer?
I'm going now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm heading out.
Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me.
Huh? What happened? What?
Tula,
What?
she ate, she was sleeping, and I walked outside to smoke,
Uh-huh.
and then I came back in my house shoes, and I stepped in a pile that big.
A doggy dude? Oh, no.
And also when I walked back in, she was asleep back under the bench like she
There
was.
she is right there, Tula.
I know. But I can't believe she's like, what is it? Lightning.
Oh. Yeah.
It's just lightning.
Yeah, yeah. Down. All right, Tula. It's Tula Mania over here. It's Tula Mania. Yeah. Am I feeling the Tula Mania? Yeah, I am, I think. Yeah, I'm feeling it. It's a puppy. How can I not feel the mania of that? Not to be dead, not to feel that. It's a new Shih Tzu. That's really... The retarded guy's out tonight, so everybody chill. All right. So we're heading to the stove. I guess the retarded guy went back inside. He's like, "Arr." But I kind of feel pity on people like that because, man, being retarded. That seems like the worst fate to me. The worst fate is like September 11th, 2001. You can't get out of the building. But like the 10th worst fate is like being retarded, probably. Because you can never get out of the prison of the mind.
Number 23.
Hey, how's it going?
Yes, good, good. $6.
Okay.
This
Quattro. Oh, you got to go in the cooler. That's why you got your Adidas jacket. Oh, okay, I got it.
It is plastic jacket.
Oh, yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great night, sir. Tesla model. So it's in the mainstream satanic gay media, the corporate lamestream media. They want to blame measles and other outbreaks on religion because the Mennonites or whatever in West Texas don't believe in taking vaccines. It's if you don't want to take a vaccine, well, you live in America, so land of the free, home of the brave, so you don't have to take what vaccines the pharmaceutical industries want you to take. Now, I would not recommend that you not take, or you and your children take the advocated measles and chickenpox vaccines, because that's not good, or you shouldn't take polio vaccines, or I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm just saying, if you want to decline a vaccine because of your religion or because you don't think that they're going to help you, then I think that's perfectly acceptable to exercise your liberty in that case. Yeah, my birthday. All right. Damn, damn, damn. Yeah. So, how can the government mandate vaccines for people to take? Now, before COVID-19 vaccines, the American public thought, well, I don't want me or my kids to get measles, rubella, polio, or chickenpox. So everybody just took the vaccine. Nobody protested. Hardly anybody protested vaccines back then. Back in the old days, nobody wants chickenpox with boils all over your body. Huh?
I said, I'm sorry. The safety reasons I took that today.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
I didn't adjust anything. I just slid it out and put it in the
Yay! Hooray. Excellent. Oh, yeah, I understand. The poo-poo. It's very good. The dudage. Ha! Ha ha! Taking a dump. Yeah, I feel like a dookie coming on too as well. Yeah.
No, I just can't believe she was that fast.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't believe I stepped outside smoke and walked back in, and my first step was right to join. And then she was back sleeping.
It must be nice to be young. Sleep a lot, crap a lot, eat a lot, sleep a lot. That must be cool to be young, right? I wish that was my life, just eating, farting, sleeping. That'd be pretty cool, bro. So, when did the World Health Organization and the Chinese Communist Party and the CDC and the U.S. federal government start to dictate to people, you must take this vaccine or this other vaccine, or you're going to lose your job? Now, that's not a constitutional law that people have to take vaccines. That's not a constitutional amendment. That's not a constitutional directive. That's not in the U.S. Bill of Rights that people have to take vaccines or they must be punished or lose their jobs. That's not in the U.S. Bill of Rights or the U.S. Constitution whatsoever. It's not in there. That's more for Pfizer and Moderna and Eli Lilly and other pharmaceutical, big pharma. Yeah, that's for them. You must take our vaccine when people have the right to choose what goes inside their bodies, what vaccines go inside. Now, do people have the right to refuse? People have the right to refuse COVID-19 vaccines if they wish. Coronavirus vaccines. Do they have the right to refuse measles, polio, rubella, chickenpox? I don't know if they have the right. I suppose they have the rights to refuse all the vaccines they want to. So basically, the people of the United States of America and other free Western countries do not recognize the authority. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I messed up everything.
What happened? What's up?
I messed up everything on the computer. I just wanted to play one simple song.
Oh, yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it up. Okay.
Because I really need to stay downstairs for baby too.
Huh?
I said, I just wanted to share a song, and I really need to go back downstairs with baby too.
Okay, yeah, I'll play the song. I'll get it up. But Trump threw out the World Health Organization's authority. We have no global masters. We're not run over a global, we're not run, the United States of America is not run by global elites or a global government. The United States of America is run by United States of Americans. Yeah, that might be something very different. That might be a hard pill to swallow for the World Health Organization and the Chinese Communist Party. But that's the truth. That's the honest to God truth. And we don't have to take vaccines if we don't fucking want to. There's no clause in our laws. There's no constitutional amendment that says we must take vaccines that the pharmaceutical industries tell us to take or the U.S. federal government tells us to take. There's nothing like that in the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, or anything. Okay. Yeah, no problem. You messed up the music?
Yeah,
How?
I don't know.
All
And then I
right.
pressed on Google and,
All right, we got it.
I don't know. Anyway,
Okie doke.
I'm sorry, I might be smart when I'm sober,
Yeah, I feel that.
but I'm not when I'm drunk.
Okay. Not smart when we drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. What song do you want to hear?
It was an Aerosmith song.
No more, no more.
Yes.
Okay.
Why do I like that?
It's a really great song. It has great melody,
Do you
everything.
know what year it came out?
1975, Toys in the Attic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
75, I was
You were
62 to 72.
13?
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the first songs I ever heard.
Well, your parents.
I mean, not the first songs I ever heard.
Yeah, yeah. Did your parents try to stop you from listening to rock and roll?
No.
Oh, okay. So they weren't like trying to take your records and shit?
No.
They weren't like, oh man, these guys shake their butts
No.
and they're, oh, okay.
No.
They didn't try to, oh, okay. But they didn't let people like Marilyn Manson play back then, so that's why they.
Well, there was nobody like Marilyn.
Yeah, yeah. Did they let you listen to Alice Cooper, or they thought that was satanic or whatever? Did they take away your Alice Cooper records?
I didn't listen to Alice Cooper.
Ah, okay. So they didn't take away your Alice. You didn't have Alice Cooper records then.
No.
Ah, okay. Did you have David Bowie records? Were they mad about that or?
No.
Oh, okay. Did you have David Bowie records? Or what? Or they didn't let you listen to it? Or you didn't know about it?
No. I heard all kinds of music
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the skating rink.
Oh, okay. So a lot of it you didn't have it. You didn't have your albums. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Not until I was 16, 17.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. Okay. All right. Love you. Yeah. I feel that. My daddy's baby grand hadn't seen the daylight since I started this band. No more, no more.
Oh, and I got my thing.
What thing? Oh, for butt whooping. Oh, the butt whooping. Yeah.
Granny said, use that and get it on your hand.
Yeah.
She's biting your ankles or your feet.
Oh, Granny told you what to do?
Yeah.
Oh, the ancient wisdom of Granny. I love it. Oh, excellent. Well, the Granny is like Queen Elizabeth II to me. Really. She really is. She is really like my own personal royalty. I'll say that. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh. Yes. So the right to refuse. Yeah. So women are always saying, my body, my choice. Well, isn't that a general human right? Our bodies, our choice. So how can the World Health, the WHO, or the U.S. federal government over Joseph R. Biden and the Democrats and the liberal global world order, and how could they tell us to take the jab, to take the COVID-19 vaccine? What authority is granted to them for telling us to do something mandatorily that we do not agree with? Now, no one's going to disagree that you don't want rubella or measles unless you're some really hardcore religious sect. And you're not going to take the smallpox or chickenpox fucking vaccine. Now, a lot of people aren't going to refuse that because you don't want boils and ancient Old Testament sores all over your body, right? So you don't want to die when you're a little kid. So a lot of people are going to say, yeah, I want those vaccines. You don't want to be crippled from polio. Yeah, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, I want these vaccines because these are really beneficial. Whether it's yourself or your children, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, I want to take the polio vaccine or the measles or the whatever, the chicken pox, et cetera, et cetera. All right. It's some pretty crazy far crazy religious sects that say, I don't want any vaccines at all. I don't want to have anything to do with modern medicine, the Amish or whoever it is. Maybe, it might be healthier, their ways. Maybe not. I suppose the Amish have a more insular society that doesn't really contact or attempt to contact outside world that much, but maybe the Mennonites of West Texas, maybe they come into contact with regular people more often, and they need better immune protections, such as vaccines for their children in the form of, measles vaccine, rubella vaccines, chickenpox. Yeah, I got the chickenpox vaccine, but if you're a kid, you still get chickenpox. You still have to, if you take the chickenpox vaccine, you still get chickenpox. Then you come down with the fever, and then you got the blisters all over your body. And then it can only come back, reappear when you're older, like 50s or 60s. It can come back when the vaccine wears off or loses its potency. It can become something called shingles, which is like a horrible disease. Yeah. But what right does the U.S. federal government or health organizations have the right to tell people what medicine, what vaccines they should put in their body? I mean, what authority do they have to force us to do that? I mean, that's an interesting question, especially in the light of the coronavirus pandemic. What are our liberties and rights if they can just suspend them like that? Is it just like George Carlin once said in his not really comedy, but sort of observational philosophy? Aren't our beloved rights as American citizens, aren't they just temporary privileges that the powerful and the elites can just take away whenever it's convenient for them? Yeah, he had a great point there. You don't have rights. Nobody has rights. You have owners, and they own you. You don't have rights. You have temporary privileges. And so I guess his prophecies are coming true more and more day after day, unfortunately. But we have been the resistance against bureaucratic evil and filth, and we have been the resistance against the Democrat Party and against the global liberal world order for some time, whether we knew it or not. But now we know for sure. We are the resistance, John Connor, against the Terminators. We are the resistance. Viva la resistance. Yeah. The battle for liberty and freedom, it's never an easy road. We have a few victories, but we're never fully confident that we have accomplished complete victory, because right around the corner, there's another disaster, there's another evil player, there's another takeover, there's another Satan, there's another demon, and they're always coming at us all over. So we could bask in the glow of temporary victory and rest on the laurels, or we could double down, we could entrench ourselves, and we could fight even harder. And so I think we should realize that to be free of tyranny just for a time is only just a temporary respite before tyranny returns, before tyranny learns and it returns to enslave us again. So this one gasp of freedom and liberty and America and democracy and the will of the people, voting and participating in our own government and how we are governed and how our lives are run, that is only a temporary state. It is not guaranteed in this country or any other. It must be fought and bled for it to actually survive. It has to be paid with hard work and effort and determination. There's no other way. Maintaining liberty from tyranny is not something that we can rest on, because tyranny is always bowing its ugly head to take away liberty, to take away people's freedoms and rights and justice. They are constantly attacking us from inside, all sides, and from outside and inside, all sides, everywhere, anywhere, inside our souls, inside, outside our souls, outside ourselves, inside ourselves, everywhere. It's attacking us. We know this. We've experienced this for years, whether we want to name it or not, but it's coming and it's already come. The work to destroy these demons and destroy this global liberal world government satanic order has only just begun to dismantle this evil beast that is attempting to enslave us on all realms, all dimensions, all sides. As General President Dwight D. Eisenhower once said, "What's at stake? Liberty is the stake." If we don't stand up to the military, industrial, pharmaceutical, technological, media state-run complex, then our way of life is done. This global world order, liberal world order, military industrial complex is, as General Dwight D. Eisenhower, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, in his farewell address, after literally saving the world from the demons of Nazism and the Axis powers of World War II, said, "This military-industrial complex is atheistic in character, global in scope, insidious in method." Atheistic in character, anti-God, anti-Christ. Global in scope, self-explanatory. It's a global network of these Satanists. And he's also saying that it's insidious in method. That means it will deploy any immoral method, any kind of murder, any kind of extortion, any kind of suffering to achieve its goals of global domination. That's what he's saying, insidious in method. Like Darth Sidious from the evil one, the Dark Lord from Star Wars, insidious in method. Atheistic in character, that means godless, anti-God, anti-Christ, and global in scope. So, yeah, we survived a few rounds, but we got to knock them out. We got to take them out in the ninth inning. We got to make it to the knockout round, folks, and we're not there yet. So that will take some that'll take some work to get to the knockout round, to knock out the deep state, to knock out the military, industrial, pharmaceutical, technological, state media, propaganda complex, to take out the liberal world order, to take out the Satan world order is going to take a lot of work. Very difficult. They're very entrenched at this point, so it's hard to take them out. Just in one election alone, it's not enough. Satan fears the faithful, those that believe in Lord God and Jesus Christ. Satan fears us, the tried and true, those that stand for liberty and justice, and for one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is what they fear, us. We have shown them that we're not going to be kicked around like cattle or sheep. We have shown the satanic elite that we will rise and resist. Now we await their next move, how insidious that may be. Their main method is destabilization by George Soros and the satanic forces of the liberal global world order of Davos, Switzerland. Chaos is sowing dissent, division, whether it be racial, economic, or otherwise, between ourselves as American citizens. Insidious in nature. It means without moral conscience, without moral clarity, without morality itself. They don't care if what they do is right as long as they win. That's a bold directive. They don't care how many people they kill as long as they win. They don't care how many people they bribe, how many extortions they do. They don't care how many Ponzi schemes they do. They don't care how many Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos. They don't care how many FTX, Sam Bankman frauds they do, as long as they fucking win. As long as they don't care how many evil deeds they do, as long as Democrats get into power in this country, as long as they launder money into those causes, as long as George Soros gets chaos and destruction and racial and economic division. They want Luigi Mangionis out there with guns shooting all the CEOs of American companies and insurance companies. They want chaos. They want the Biden order, like Dr. Eric Berg, his video said, is this bird flu epidemic natural or is it mandated? Well, Biden said he mandated before he left office, you need to kill all the chickens if one of them comes down with bird flu. So they're slaughtering more chickens, which is driving down supply so they can cause a chaos and crisis during the Trump administration. So that egg prices shoot up. Egg is the staple mainstay of the diet. It has choline, which reduces. Choline is high, and the eggs are high in protein, and choline, which reduces cholesterol, creates greater blood flow, increased energy in human beings. So they're attacking this vital resource of man, which are chicken eggs, and they're spreading this bird flu in concert with their pharmaceutical friends, and they're developing vaccines for the birds, and they're ordered by the federal government under Joseph R. Biden, last corrupt, evil administration, by the global liberal world order, to slaughter the chickens that are infected with the bird flu that's driving up our fucking egg prices. They're slaughtering entire flocks of birds, of chickens. You can watch the Dr. Berg video. I trust doctors. I grew up with doctors. I trust their judgment. Not because doctors are always right or they're always perfect, but because they do this for a living and I do not. All right. So they must have some kind of wisdom if they went to 10 years to fucking medical school and studied biology, virology, and medicine. They must know a lot more about those subjects than I do, right? So I never treated doctors in my society as puppets because I knew to go what their kind of training that they have gone through is well earned and it must be respected, even if they make mistakes from time to time, like any human being does. They still took the oath, the Hippocratic oath, and it's for the betterment and the care of all life and all humans. It's the ancient Hippocratic oath that they took when they graduated medical school. Whether they followed it or not, I think most doctors try to live up to that standard, even though it's difficult to live up to standards, especially in a world like this. Doctors are my superheroes. Military are my superheroes. Army soldiers, Marines, firefighters, police officers. You are my superheroes. You always have been my superheroes. So, working men and women, doing difficult tasks and difficult jobs every day, day in, day out. Truckers are my superheroes. Nurses, doctors. You're my superheroes. The work you do for American citizens in the world day in, day out is unfathomable. It's admirable. And you don't get enough money or credit for the great work that you do. So, what right do the U.S. government have, or the federal government, the federal establishment have, to tell people to take vaccines? Well, I'm glad I got measles vaccines in the 1980s. I'm glad I got rubella. I'm glad I got polio. I'm glad I got chickenpox at least. I'm glad because you know what? I did chickenpox. I saw the boils all over my body and I said, no, I don't want to do that again. I don't like having boils all over my body, really. It's not my thing. I don't like biblical type sores all over my skin. And I don't like Old Testament punishments by the almighty wrath of God inflicted upon me. So I'd rather take the vaccine, you know. I don't want rubella. I don't want measles. I don't want chickenpox. I don't want smallpox. I don't want polio. I don't want any of it. I don't want COVID-19, Wuhan Virology Institute plague. I don't want any of that shit. I never did. I never would. I never will. I don't want leprosy. I don't want cancer. I don't want any shit. You know. I mean, in all reality, I never did. I never will. Ever. So I never wanted AIDS, but I never stuck, my dick up a dude's butt. So, I have less chance of getting AIDS if I don't stick my wiener up a dude's butthole, right? I mean, if I stick my wiener up a dude's butthole, I'll probably get AIDS. I might get AIDS or what's that shit? Monkeypox or some shit. Yeah. So there are some activities. If I refrain from homosexual or unnatural activities, then I won't get monkeypox or AIDS. All right, because I'm not sticking my wiener up a dude's butthole. So if I don't do that, then I probably won't get monkeypox. I won't get AIDS. So I know that I'm not supposed to do that. All right, because that's not gonna help. It's not gonna work. So AIDS. What does AIDS stand for? Autoimmune deficiency syndrome. HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, is called human immunodeficiency virus, right? HIV. AIDS is autoimmune deficiency syndrome. HIV is what? Human immunodeficiency virus. HIV. Fabulous. Where did HIV come from? Was it the tail that someone in Africa whipped out their wiener and put it in a gorilla's butthole or a monkey's butthole? I don't know if that was the way it was developed. Maybe that's where it was sold. Some guy was like in the forest of Africa and he was like, you know what, I want to stick my wiener in a monkey's butthole. I don't know if that's the way it really went down. Put your wiener in a monkey's butthole. I mean, I don't know their kind of sexual appetites in Africa. But I tell you what, I never thought putting my wiener in a monkey's butthole. I never thought that would be cool. So, kind of bullshit story. It's a bullshit story. Where did AIDS come from? Where do all these like really crazy viruses, and is it just for the pharmaceutical industry, you know, I don't know. You get conspiracy, the tinfoil hat, but you know, you can watch Outbreak or yeah, the secret laboratory, you know, and Morgan Freeman and Donald Sutherland, yeah, and came from Africa. Right. You know, like the old plague movies, that it would be like the monkey from Africa was coming and stuff. But they'd never talk about Asian viruses. They'd never talk about Middle Eastern viruses. It would always be from Africa. There would always be a monkey from Africa back in the old plague movies, back in the old virus movie, back in the old days. It would always be a monkey from Africa. I mean, it could be an animal from Africa. I mean, definitely. I mean, I guess a virus, a new plague could emerge from anywhere. But you know. Oh, yeah. Did I take the COVID-19 virus vaccine? No, I didn't take it. Why didn't I take it? Well, John Legend told me to take the jab. He told me to take the COVID-19 because John Legend is a legendary performer. He calls himself John Legend. Do you know any of John Legend's songs? Question. Does anybody know what John Legend is legendary for? I guess he plays piano. He sings songs or something. But does anybody know what his songs are? Do they sing along to him? Or are they like legendary like Elton John or Queen or Liberace or Elvis or Frank Sinatra? Or does anybody know who John Legend? They know who he is. He calls himself Legend. But what is he legendary for? Except for take the shot, take the COVID-19 shot. Look, I'm a legend. I'm a big music man. Take it, take it, take it. Yeah. And then Travis Kelce, because he gets Taylor Swift pussy, he's like, I'm a big alpha male. I got some big ass all American cherry pie pussy. Take the shot. And they show the little band aid on it. So Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs and John quotation marks Legend. Now, how many times do you listen to John Legend music? How many? I'd like to ask a question to the audience. How many times are you jamming John Legend music? Do you wake up in the morning and jam John Legend? Do you listen to it in the afternoon, nighttime, late at night, after hours? How many people out there are listening to John Legend music? How many people are jamming John Legend albums? And is John Legend, in fact, legendary? Or will people forget about him in years hence? Will people just be like, oh, that's the guy who pushed the COVID-19 jab in the Super Bowl commercials or whatever? But does anybody actually listen to John Legend? What are his legendary songs? What does he do besides promote the COVID-19 coronavirus vaccine? Is there anything he does besides promote the pharmaceutical industry? I would like to hear a song by John Legend that I jam out to that I really like. If you could send me that song or that link, I'd appreciate it. Because I don't think John Legend is very legendary. He could probably sing or play piano or something like that, but there's no evidence that this guy is a legend. Okay. So maybe Billy Joel is a legend. Elton John, they're legends. Maybe, Prince is a legend. He's half black or whatever. James Brown is African American. He's a legend. Okay. So Chuck Berry, he's African American. He's a legend. Is John a legend? Name me his songs. What are the albums that I should be so intrigued by? Because I can't name them. I don't remember. Am I supposed to remember his tracks? So just fill in the blank where I'm missing my data here, because I love for people to share with me their love of John Legend music and his great hits, or what makes him so legendary. and Travis Kelce, because he gets some. Apparently, Taylor Swift isn't gay, and she didn't hire a guy to kiss her. Okay, apparently Taylor Swift isn't a lesbian, but they're not getting married and they're not having children. Somehow Taylor Swift is straight though, even though she's not apparently fucking this guy and having kids. Apparently Taylor Swift isn't a lesbian, transsexual. Okay, apparently Taylor Swift isn't gay, but she's almost 37 years old and she's not getting married to this guy and having 3 little Swifties. Oh, apparently. Huh. Really? So she's not gay and she's not having children and she's not getting married and she's not gay. And she's almost 37. And she's with this football guy, this stud, and she's not getting knocked up. So what's up? There's no little Swifties. She's not love this guy forever, and they're not getting married. Where's the wedding? Where's the children? That's all I'm saying. Once they say Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting married, take the jab. Hey guys, everybody, take the COVID. Oh, take the Moderna. Eli, Lily, take that COVID jab. Take it right here. Stick the needle in your arm, baby. That coronavirus. Ooh, stick it in. Don't question anything. Just stick the medicine in your body. Don't question what it is. No. If you want to be a superstar, fucking hot blonde chicks, take it. If you want some pussy. All right. And if you don't take it, you'll never get pussy. Fucking losers. Yeah. Nice. Excellent. I love that. That's clever marketing by the pharmaceutical industry, isn't it? Don't take the jab. You'll never get poontang. I love it. It's so, voila. It's just, you'll never get money and pussy if you never stick this in your arm. Ooh, that's rich. All right. Got the beer mug chilling over here. Got the backup fridge. That's what's up. And we're gonna head out here and go get we're gonna go bomb a fag. It means a cigarette in England. I'm not being homogaic or whatever. They don't call it homogaic. They don't call it homogaic. They call it homophobic or something. Yeah, they don't call it homogaic. They call it homophobic, I guess. I'm not homophobic, man. Be gay. I don't care. No, I'm not worried about people that are gay. I'm worried about people that are pretending they're not gay. Like the Taylor Swift, that really pisses me off that people are... The women that are gay pretending they're not gay, that pisses me off more than the woman dressing like a guy or the man dressing like a woman. It really ticks me off if you're gay and you're not being gay. Okay, if you're pretending you're not gay. Especially if you're a woman pretending you're not a lesbian and you're pretending you're a straight woman. I can't stand it. It's so dishonest. It's so bullshit. So now, why does Taylor Swift pretend she's not a lesbian? Because she wants all those guys drooling over a booty hole every night. She's gonna lose if she comes out and says, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, then guess what's gonna happen? Her ticket sales are gonna go boop. She's not gonna be a multi-billionaire anymore. She knows it, so she has to keep people dangling on the marionette on the fucking string. She's fucking gay as fuck. That's my theory. Unless she has kids or gets married in the next few years before her ovaries dry up, she's gay. She's lesbian. All right, that's the reality of it. And or she's just a selfish bitch, or she can't have kids because her ovaries are fucked up like Stevie Nicks or something. But regardless, Taylor Swift is gay. Okay. So she might pretend to like dudes and kiss on dudes and lick dudes and smooch dudes with a lipstick. Taylor Swift is a motherfucking lesbian.